Hello. Should be connecting soon with children's author Sandra Wilson, and my intention is every Wednesday to interview a new children's author. Not that they are new authors, but just I'm going to be interviewing a different children's author every Wednesday because one of the difficult things that a lot of authors or go through is visibility and increasing their visibility. Hi, Sandra. I'm just warming up.
Yep, no problem.
You're warm though, aren't you?
I'm very warm, yes.
I was just, are you well? Are you?
Yes, yep, all good.
You look lovely. I was just saying that a lot of children's authors obviously have difficulty in getting a reach, sometimes further than their own local community, getting themselves visible, also because authors tend to be quite reclusive. And so that's why I'm doing this every Wednesday. You might hop on here a couple of times because you have so many books.
I have a lot of costumes too.
I have a lot of costumes, yay, I like that. I think it might get contagious. I'm going to have to go get one. So anyway, that's the objective of this every Wednesday, a new children's author, and the first one to appear, the one who is blessing this season of series of Kiki H Lives with Children's Author is Sandra. So Sandra, I would like you to tell everybody a little about yourself and possibly explain why you're wearing that outfit.
Okay, so I am author Sandra Wilson, and I am from Ontario, Canada. And I have started the Kindness Kangaroo project, and it started with the book Kindness Kangaroo, which I had an idea for. I went into a classroom to talk to some kids about the idea of kindness. I ended up getting them to illustrate the book. And so that became the Kindness Kangaroo project, was me going into different classrooms, working with kids for ideas to write the books, which then they helped illustrate. So it became a whole project, and then I got a costume, and I find the kids are like to talk to me if I'm dressed like a giant kangaroo. So, and I was always wearing costumes before. I ran an education center, and so every event we had, if we had a mythology camp, I dressed up as Athena, and when we had a time machine camp, I dressed up as Doctor Who, and when we had a space camp, I was dressed up, I had a box on my head like an astronaut helmet. I don't know, like I had a costume for everything I did. I Dr. Seuss costume, and yeah, so my business is called Quite a Character because I really am. And I have like a costume for everything I do. And so the kindness costume sort of fit into what I was doing. And it just became my thing because it became the Kindness Kangaroo project.
So tell me, before you started becoming all these different characters, were you already a children's author, or is that something that you just kind of fell into because, well, you just had so many ideas and the kids latched onto what you were doing?
Yeah, before I started the Kindness Kangaroo project, I had already written 5 books. And so I started writing when I was about 12, but life got in the way, and so I didn't actually put anything into publication until 2013. So it took me, I got my kids raised and out of the way, and then I went, okay, now it's my time, and kind of took the time for myself. I kind of regret not doing stuff sooner, but everything, it has a reason. So that's how I just kind of connected. I ran an education center for kids. And so I didn't publish my first, actually the first book came out the same year I opened the center, so it all kind of happened all at once. And then I started publishing ones that I'd written before, and then I created new ones. And so I had 5 already, and then when I started the Kindness Kangaroo project, it was an alphabet series, so that threw me at 26. And then
everybody just what your alphabet series is, because this is fantastic. So I know you're a huge force of good for children, and you've got what, 65 books or something?
45.
45. Well, you've got 20 left in you, I'm sure.
I'm sure there are.
But the alphabet, the emotion, what do you call it? The emotional
The Emotional Animal Alphabet series, yes. So for each of those books, there's an emotional animal. So A was anxious alligator. And so the idea was to talk to kids about emotions. So we built some emotional intelligence. So we gave them situations that might happen and asked their ideas of how to help a character in that situation. So not only did it give these kids I was working with some understanding about situations, how to deal with things, have that conversation, but it also creates it in the reader that's reading the book who can then relate to that character. The characters are very relatable because the ideas came from kids the same age as the reader.
Perfect. So, for example, what's the tortoise or the turtle? Would that be the T?
Yes, so that was Timid Turtle. And so Timid Turtle, I was actually asked to go into a classroom to help talk about Tourette syndrome because my son had Tourette's. And they didn't understand, they didn't know how to, the child had Tourette's, but they didn't know how to introduce that to the classroom. No. So I said I'd be happy to come in to work with Timid Turtle because Timid could be hiding in his shell because of his tics and be embarrassed about coming out. And then the kids could actually say, oh, well, this is what we could do to help them. So they gave suggestions of what they would say to their friend if their friend was a turtle stuck in a shell not wanting to come out. And so then we happened to write the story, and they drew lovely turtle pictures. And then, like, one of the characters said, oh, well, I have glasses, and originally I was a little afraid to go to school with my glasses because I was afraid people would make fun of me. So they related it to, hey, I have something similar, and things like that. And so then what happened was, when they got the book, Timid Turtle, and they were all, of course, excited because they're all now published illustrators. They, you know, kids are funny. They're like all famous, and I'm like, oh, well, take me with you when you get there, because
yeah.
But then the boy that has Tourette's then told us that he had tics, and the class got all excited that he was like, so he was famous just like Timid Turtle, and he became sort of the star rather than there's something wrong with you. It was like, hey, great, you're just like the character. So a lot of my characters have a difference so that kids with differences can see themselves as a main character, because that's important too. You know, it's not that they're less, they're just different. So
could you name a few of the other characters in your alphabet? Obviously, you've got Kindness Kangaroo, which you are featuring and modelling beautifully this evening.
Yes, I have my pouch. I have a pouch here. Yes, I have a big tail too. Oh, tail. Here we go. So there's my tail. So, it's hard to sit with a tail. I've never, had that problem before, but yeah. So
would you have a pouch?
Not at the moment.
What would she carry in her pouch? In your
often her cell phone usually.
Yeah.
I do have a toy kangaroo that I carry in as sort of the baby. I've had actual babies in the pouch. Now the Kindness Kangaroo story, Kindness Kangaroo has things in her pouch to give people, and so sometimes I carry those things to act out the story. Yeah. So like I'll have an umbrella, some suntan lotion, some Band-Aids, whatever anybody needs, I have in my pouch. So it just depends on where I'm going. Sometimes I have pens in there that are my business cards. Yeah, it just depends where I'm going.
And could you name some of the other animals in your animal alphabet for everybody?
Yeah. So I'll pick some of the ones that have the differences so that you can see. So Determined Dog has something similar to dyslexia, so has kind of like a reading difficulty, and so is determined to finish the schoolwork and do well.
Which a lot of can relate to.
Yes, Fabulous Flamingo was actually written without any gender words, so it's a gender-neutral book. Because the group I worked with, there was a little boy who liked to wear a blue princess dress, and there's nothing wrong with a little boy wearing a blue princess dress, and so we wanted to make sure that that was also recorded in a book as well. So that one is all gender roots. So it's Fabulous Flamingo talks about being fabulous is being who you are, being true to yourself. And actually, when we did the book launch for that one, we had a drag queen do their storytelling. So that one was really cool.
Yeah, and the thing is, some children, it depends what age you get them at, doesn't it? Some children don't know how to react because they've already started being instilled and things are they've been told what to think, preconditioned. And other kids just accept whatever you turn up as. That's how you are.
And I mean, part of the creating the series is to have kids understand these things and see it in a book. Like when you put it in a book and it's put in front of them, and they're like, oh, well, that child is like a messy monkey, has a muscle disorder, so he makes him very klutzy. And I actually have a friend with cerebral palsy, and so I modeled the messy monkey sort of off of him, in a sense of, I imagined him as a child and maybe what it was like when he'd spill a drink or, you know, trip or you know, be embarrassed by those things. And, you know, because when you put that in a story and then kids are like, oh, I know someone with that. Or if they do then recall someone like that, they come into contact with someone, they're like, oh, I remember reading about that and I know ways that I can react.
Because what you're delivering works on multiple levels. Not only are you delivering a wonderful story, which a lot of children's authors and a lot of children would just be happy with, and a lot of parents would be happy with, the delightful stories, but you're also equipping them with tools. You're also equipping them with this formation of role models, because as we know, when children read a story, they form a bond with the characters. Mm-hmm. So I tip my hat off to you, I really do. And I would like to know, where can people actually buy these books? I hope they can buy them.
Yes, absolutely. So the Emotional Animal Alphabet series is available on Amazon. So you can get that Amazon I think it's a 10 different Amazon sites. So US, Canada, UK, Australia, lots of places for that. My website is www.quiteacharacter.ca. And there, it gives you a little bit more description. You can order them off of there too, but if you're not in Canada, it's much easier to do it on Amazon, only because shipping charges would be, because I have them, I would physically send them, but it gives you a little bit more information about them. It gives you get to see the covers. The covers were all drawn by kids as well. So my youngest artist was 20 months old, and my oldest artist was 14. So. Yeah, so Fabulous Flamingo was a daycare center, so the pictures there's some pink in it, so we assume there's a flamingo in there somewhere. But, you know, that wasn't the point. The point was not that the picture looked exactly what it was supposed to be. The point was that these children get empowered by being part of the book, by being, you know, if they can be part of a published book at 20 months, what can they do at 20 years old, right? So
exactly. That's another level that you're working at. You're empowering them as well, because some people just having that is enough in their life.
Yeah, I'm hoping. People always say, you know, why do you do what you do? And I said, I really want someday a famous author, when somebody says, who inspired you to write, I just want them to mention me.
Yeah, I think
that's the only fame I really want.
It is, isn't it? I mean, but you must already get that beautiful feeling when the children laugh with you, and when they feel proud, and when they go through the motions with you. You must already get that great feeling inside you.
One of the things I'm missing right now because of COVID is I haven't been able to go to the schools for the book launch. So what would happen is when I get the book in print, so we make it's a fairly quick process, because I'm trying to get it back to the schools while they are still in that same class. And so when I get the book in print, and I go back to the school and we read the book and we recognize each person's picture and they all clap for each other. And then I say, when you come and get your book, can you sign my copy? Because all artists need to sign their masterpieces. And the look on these kids' faces to say how important they now have become to me is just amazing to me. Like that's really why I do it, because the pride that they have, and the clapping they do for each other, and they're all, you know, clapping each other on the back, and they're getting each other to sign their pictures in their own books, and it just creates that kind of empowerment that everybody should have a chance to get. You know, like everybody, Bravo Bear talks about applause. Bravo Bear has two big paws so that he can give applause. And it talks about how it's important that everybody somehow in their life feels the applause of like a standing ovation. You know, if you're not a musician or an actor or a dancer, you don't feel that standing ovation applause. So we all need to make sure we're giving that to people so they can feel that, because that's what empowers them to move forward and do more.
I just want to tell you, you probably can't see this on your screen, but Joe has just written that it's such a shame with COVID, because this will be needed even more. And what you're doing is brilliant. And also, just to pick up on that, are you managing to get to other schools? Because this is so in demand right now for children to start connecting with their feelings and to start understanding a little bit more and helping them. So if anybody's watching and knows of teachers, I mean, you can still use these things online. There's still tools that you have an ebook.
I've written a few books with Zoom classes. So we've done it that way. I'm working on some courses as well. So like video courses to help take the frustration out of writing and put the fun in writing. So kids that may struggle with writing, because what I do is fun. I mean, just look at me. You think what I do in my life is fun. I know how to have fun. And I also have a drama teacher background. So I add a lot of drama in my course description, in my courses, so that kids are actually having fun. And the focus is not on what can you write. The focus is on let's have fun and tell a story. And so hopefully that helps kids as well. I'm hoping as things open up, we're supposed to be going back to school in September, according to the rules. I don't know how much, but I've worked with Girl Guide groups. I've worked with homeschool groups. I can, I have a mask for the kangaroo, so I could do whatever I need to. And I'm also working on workbooks. So Anxious Alligator will have an accompanied workbook that talks about the emotion of anxiety. It talks about support animals because the alligator has a support animal. It talks about the difference between an alligator or a crocodile, because that's important. So that I'm making those to try to help teachers that maybe I can't go in the class, but maybe then the teachers can get the book and present it.
Teachers always need more new material. They always do. So you've got Anxious Alligator, Bravo Bear, what's C?
Courageous Caterpillar.
Courageous Caterpillar.
Determined Dog. Empathy Elephants. Fabulous Flamingo, yep. Grateful Giraffe. Hopeful Hippo. Impatient Iguana. Jealous Jaguar. Kindness Kangaroo. Lovable Lion. Messy Monkey. Nervous Newt. Optimistic Octopus, which is a hard one to read out loud. Pleasant Penguin. Question Quetzal. The first question is, what's a Quetzal? Reckless Raccoon. Sensitive Sea Lion. Timid Turtle. Unique Uriel. Victoria's Bull. Whiny Walrus. Excited Xeris. Yakety Yak. And Zany Zebra.
You are the business. I tell you, you are the queen of the jungle. I mean,
yes.
Fantastic. We've also got a comment. Adults need these books too.
Funny enough, I'm actually writing a companion book to go with them. That's kind of the fun characters for the adults to read as well. So we have Tired Tiger and we have Busy Bobcat. And they're just like a one-page one, but it's just so that the parents can relate it as well. Like Tired Tiger is like, I get up early so I can have my coffee by myself, and then I'm busy all day, and things like that. It's it's just meant for fun for them, but also something that they can relate to a character as well, because why not, right? So yeah, I've been working on that. I mean, there's the version that you can't really publish because the B character had a few ideas on it that was a little, well, we're not going to use that. Okay. But yeah, I did mindful. What was he? Mindful. I forget what my character was, but it was about this this old character that lives up on a hill, and Moose. It was Mindful Moose. Okay. And he lives up on a hill and he does his yoga and he sells his bath bombs, and I mean, again, it's just for fun, but it's an adult thing. But I always say that I write the books for the adults because they're usually the ones that are reading to the children. The children give me the ideas for the story, so I know they already know. We need to convince the adults that the children know, and that it creates a conversation between the children and the adults so that everybody then knows. That's kind of the whole point. I mean, I know the kids are good at it. I just have to convince the parents that the kids are good at it.
Sandra, I'm going to leave it there. I think we've run over. But I'm going to post this with where people can get your amazing books. I know there's only 45 of them, but it sounds like...
Yeah, we only talked about the first 26.
So you will have to come on by with... I was going to say you could probably do like a costume change,
Well, when you do Super Kids Save the World series, I could put my superhero costume on.
Yep, that's what we're going to do. Beautiful, wonderful to talk to you. And as I
You
say,
too.
I'll put your contact details up with this video and we'll share it and we'll get you out there because the world
Excellent.
needs more of Kindness Kangaroo.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time.
All right.
So if there's unless there's anything else you want to say, I'm going to sign off and say,
No, it's all good. I'll be back. I know I'll be back.
yeah, I know. I know. So thanks, Joe, for all your comments, and thank you everybody for joining. And thank you, Sandra.
All right. Bye.
Bye bye.